Hi, Miss Chapman. Thanks for coming in today.
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you doing okay today?
I'm doing well.
Okay, good. I wanted to touch base with you. I'm sure you remember I was in your classroom a couple of days ago, and not sure I caught you at your best time, and probably wasn't good timing for me to maybe talk about some of the things that we were seeing. So I would just want to kind of put that behind us, and I want to revisit and see if we can talk about the issue that I started to discuss on Monday. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. First off, I want you to know how much I appreciate the work you put in. You're consistently one of our highest performing teachers, and I want you to know I have a lot of respect for your craft and how you go about your business. So I don't want you to feel attacked in any way when we talk, but I want you to feel supported because I think we can all grow from feedback, and I think there's an area here where we can work together. Are you open to that?
Sure.
Okay. Can we both agree you want to be the very best teacher you can possibly be?
Yes, and I think that we have evidence where I have been, one of the best teachers. I've consistently, the highest performing in terms of student achievement. And, my evaluations are stellar. I'm a 5 consistently. So the fact that we're even sitting here having this conversation is a bit unnerving for me.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like I said before, my goal here isn't to make you feel unnerved or attacked in any way whatsoever. I want us to be able to come together as professionals and see if we can work on issues because you want to be the very best teacher you can be, and I want to help you continue that. So when you think about being one of the best teachers in this school, in this district, and probably in the state, what do you think it is? What practices do you think got you to that place?
So I think it's really around 3 things. I think it's the rigor, and it's the relevance, like how is what I'm teaching relevant to students? And then the last thing I think is the relationships that I build with young people. And I think that that's what makes, teaching and learning in my class overall very effective, or at least it has been in the past.
Sure. So talk to me a little bit about the lesson I saw on Monday. Can you just walk me through the design of that lesson?
So the mandate that was given to us was that we are to use the technology every day. And so that's what I'm doing. I am trying hard to do what is asked of me. And so I already had my lessons planned for the next few weeks. And then now I'm forced to use the technology where sometimes I feel like it doesn't necessarily fit. So I had just the students on the Google Classroom.
Okay. Now, that's not the first time I've seen students on Google Classroom. Is that kind of the product you feel comfortable with that you've been using regularly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Okay. So, do you think that these lessons that you've been delivering are up to par with lessons that you've done in years past?
Oh, no. And it
Okay.
just doesn't feel good or really authentic. But I'm trying to do what you asked me to do.
Okay. Let me see if I'm getting this right. I want to clarify, and please let me know if I misunderstood anything. But what I understood you to say was you felt like the expectation from me was that we use the technology every single day. And I don't hear a lot of confidence from you about using technology. Am I wrong on either of those?
No, I wouldn't say you're wrong, but I'm struggling with, I've already planned these lessons. I've taken a ton of time doing that lift, and then now having to integrate the technology. I'm having a hard time making the two fit so that I feel comfortable with the level of information I'm getting, but I'm also giving it to the students in the platform that is required.
Okay. I think based on that, I can understand where your frustration might be coming from, and I think this is where we can work together. And I may have to come back and revisit this with the faculty, but the expectation from me was not that we use technology every day, but we've had all of this new technology come into our school, and our goal is to use it effectively to help students learn. So I know that can't happen every single day.
Okay.
But we want to use technology where it's appropriate because we want our students to be competitive in the modern world. So I may need to come back with the faculty to kind of to clarify those expectations. I do want to see effective technology use though, and what I'm hearing from you is that you don't have a lot of confidence in that area, but you seem to have some confidence in Google Classroom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I also heard you say that you've done a lot of lesson planning already. Yeah, I'm sure that that would not be a good thing if I asked you to change those. So how about this? If we can kind of back up and start over, what if I told you, take your lesson plans as you have them, as you've delivered in the past, go ahead and for the rest of this week, do the lessons as you plan them.
Okay.
This week, we'll work together with our technology integration coach, Abby. Do you feel comfortable with her?
Yeah. Yes. Vague. Those millennials can be a lot to
Sure.
stomach, but I think I can
Sure.
work with Abby.
And I understand that, I'm not a digital native either, and it's a little, it's a little unnerving to me too to work with it. But I think Abby's got a really strong background, and she was a really strong teacher, which is why we selected her. But I think that she could probably learn from you as well. Would you be open to the three of us working together this week to plan one lesson next week?
I think that would be good because sometimes she can get a little impatient if I don't catch on super quick.
Sure.
So I think, but the three of us working together, I think that I'm open to that.
Okay. So we'll work together. I'll work with Abby and I'll work with you to find a time this week that we can get together and plan a lesson. So we'll take your existing lesson plans and we'll think about how we can use technology, maybe some products that we're not familiar with that Abby could teach us how to use and actually deepen student learning using the lesson plans that you have. Would you be willing to do that?
Yes. And I think that that's something she is good at. Like she does have a lot of other ideas for technology integration. So I have seen her work with other teachers and they're trying a lot of other strategies other than just the Google Classroom.
Right. So I think what we'll do then, we'll find that time, we'll plan a lesson this week, but I also want to make sure you feel 100% comfortable when you deliver this lesson. So Abby and I will both plan on being in the room with you that day in case anything goes wrong. And that way we can be there to give you the support you need and make you feel confident when you're delivering this lesson. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that does. Okay, that feels better.
Okay, so by the end of today, I'll set a time for Thursday or Friday for us to sit down during your planning, and we'll put together a lesson. And we may not be able to get it done in one planning period, but we'll at least get enough done that we can really get this cleaned up by next week. Does that sound okay?
That sounds good.
All right, and then we'll pick a day next week, and I will guarantee you the support there to make sure this goes well.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
that's better.
All right, and I will also. I want to make sure that the entire faculty understands those expectations because I don't want our teachers believing they have to force technology where it doesn't fit. So I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, and I'll make sure that we clarify that.
Okay, and thank you for receiving that because we've had a lot of conversations offline, about just having to do it and feeling like we're being forced into an area that doesn't really. Sometimes we feel like doesn't really put kids first or their learning first. And we're just trying to meet the mandate because at the end of the day, like we want to be successful. So I think you speaking to us and perhaps there's some other teachers who could use this same assistance.
Sure, I appreciate that, and I think that's a good advice for me. So we'll try to keep our eyes open. And if you, by any means, you're welcome to tell anyone this assistance is available. So
Okay.
if someone feels comfortable talking with you and saying that they need some help with technology, especially as you become the new technology expert, we'll help you along the way. But feel free to let anyone else who's concerned know that support is available,
Okay.
and we'll make sure that this goes well for you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No, that's good.
All right.
That's
Thank
good.
you for coming
All
in.
right, thank you. All right.